That's a value. Hello, my friends. Please forgive my voice right now. I'm fighting off a cold, and I also did not sleep much last night. But that last part, that was for good reason, because Bandai Namco was gracious enough to invite me to play the network test for Elden Ring. They saw my tweet talking about Elden Ring, and they sent me a code to get in the network test, and I was ecstatic, and the first test happened at 3 a.m. last night, and I couldn't wait. I couldn't wait until tonight at 7 or whatever. I had to get up at 3 and play it, of course, so I slept for like 2 hours. Okay. So, the network test was just like early area of the game, basically no story or anything. So there's not going to be like, big plot spoilers or anything. But if you're very sensitive to spoilers like me and you don't even want to know all the mechanics and stuff, then right now I'm just telling you, it's incredible. Really amazing, super awesome, amazing, and I really cannot wait to play the full thing. So you can go, and anybody else who doesn't mind hearing about the stuff that was in the network test, because, I want to talk about some specifics. It's important. So here we go. Now, keep in mind, the only other Souls Hero-born game that I've ever played was the first Dark Souls. I played it on my Switch. It's the only one, but I've always been really fascinated with the formula, just the concept. I'm not a super great guy at playing video games, so I'm usually pretty scared off by these games. But I love the idea of playing them, and I've been meaning to play more, at the very least, like Bloodborne. I've heard so many good things about. So I've only played the first one, so I don't know exactly what things in this game are necessarily new. I know like the main ones that are new, but little details, whatever. And like, I've been really dying to get into another one because I enjoy Dark Souls so much. I played it for so long. Took me a million years to beat it because I'm so bad at it. But I've been dying for it. I don't have a lot of time though. I can't, there's dozens and dozens of hours on another one. So I've been kind of putting it off for a while, but this is going to be the one that I jump into. Oh, for a number of reasons, my friend. I haven't really been keeping track of what's going on, like what the game is about. I heard, like I saw the first trailer. Okay, there's a horse, and I'm like, okay, it's kind of more open. I'm like, is it like a full open world or something? I wasn't really sure. So like starting off in some random cave, because that's where you always start in these games, it seems. And, going through, killing some guys, learning. It's basically like the tutorial. And then like you open the doors and it opens up into just this giant field. And it's like, no, this is a thing. This is an open world Souls game. And that idea, like, it's incredible. Because, like, there's a lot of open world games out there. But I feel like when you... And, a lot of them get old. A lot of them get kind of like, oh, go here. Here's some waypoints. Here's some towers to climb, that kind of stuff. Like, it's all been there, done that. But I feel like it's extra effective when you move into that territory with an already established thing. That's why Breath of the Wild, one of the reasons that was so great to me is because I'd played Zelda games my whole life, and then all of a sudden Zelda is open world. That's incredible. So it's kind of the same here. Like, it's Souls, but it's open world, and so you get all of the benefits of both. It ends up making the whole thing feel so fresh and amazing. And one of the reasons I haven't played Dark Souls 2 and 3 yet is I've heard that they're a little bit more on the linear side. Whereas like one of my favorite parts about Dark Souls 1 was just exploring. It's just this big world, and there's a relatively linear structure to how you kind of like move through it, sort of. But you genuinely feel like you're just going through the world, just finding stuff. And this is just like nothing but that. It's nothing but exploration and just kind of like you're more free than ever, just going wherever you want to go. And like especially in a Souls game where like the bad guys are so weird and awesome and hard that like you never know what you're gonna find around any corner. You're like, it's terrifying. It's terrifying exploring these worlds, but that's part of what makes it so thrilling. And so it's just that constantly. No matter where you go, you're just like, what am I gonna find? Who am I gonna have to fight? It's great. And here's the thing, there are dungeons in this game. There are dungeons. They're like, like so far the only ones I've seen are like kind of small, but it's just like a little self-contained area. You go in, you fight some guys, you do some stuff, you open up a way to the boss, and then you fight the boss, and it's an awesome, amazing, super hard boss, and then you get some stuff. And like the great thing about this is because these are like little self-contained things, and that means that your bonfire equivalent, whatever it's called, grace blobs or whatever, They're right there at the start of the dungeon. So you go through, and by the time you clear everything out and you open up the boss door, if you die, you're very close to the boss door. What's that? That's one of my main problems with these kinds of games, is running back to the boss again and again and again. So far, I've not had to do that really at all, where you have to like run past a bunch of enemies and it takes whole minutes to get there. Like, no, right there at the beginning of the dungeon, there it is, run back to the boss door. And I love it, and it loads so much faster on the Xbox, on the Series X, so it's like, it doesn't discourage me from trying again and again and again. I don't know what the game is going to be structured after this, what the rest of the dungeons look like. For all I know, there's a lot more like traditional Soulsy stuff. I don't know if the whole game is just these like little mini dungeons you go around or what. But so far, it's been... well, it was not, it's been, because I played it for like 2.5 hours and then it stopped and I can't play it anymore. But so far, like, it is a thrilling, just amazingly thrilling experience. There's one single thing that it's kind of missing so far. Because it's so open and split into these little dungeons, so far I've not experienced that intense satisfaction that comes from pushing into an area with a bunch of guys and you're gonna die, but you finally make it, and then you find a shortcut that leads you back around, or you find a new bonfire or whatever. Like, that's one of the best things about about Dark Souls, is that feeling. But it's a bit of a trade-off, because that also comes with a lot of stress, and it's refreshing playing this and not being subjected to that stress quite so much. But I would like to see some of it, you know, if every area is just really big and broad and open and everywhere. Like, I want a little bit more structure. So maybe if some of these dungeons end up being bigger or something like that, it'd be nice if there's sort of a happy medium. At the same time, it wouldn't be so bad if the whole game really was just kind of big and open, and we kind of missed out on that. You know, it's a thing, but, you know, it's a thing. I don't know what am I saying. So far, though, it's just, I don't know, exploration. I'm all about exploration. Having no idea what anything is going to be. I mean, especially a Souls game. The creatures are so weird, and like, they don't disappoint here. These bosses, they're weird, undead, creepy, haunt your nightmares creatures, the ones that I've fought so far. And so it's just like, literally anywhere. What are you gonna find? What kind of thing are you gonna fight? Who knows? Nobody knows. It's incredible. And then mechanically, it's you know, it's all the things that you expect, the fighting style and the equipping and stuff. It's all basically the same as it's always been, as far as I can tell. You can jump now. Could you jump in any of the other ones? Maybe you could jump at Secure or something, but it's cool. You do a jump, and you do a big jump attack, and it kind of sorry. Sorry, my throat really hurts. Just a cold, don't worry. Just have malfunction sometimes. The jump attack is really cool. Whatever. So yeah, and like, just like with Dark Souls, I am gonna have to spend my first few hours with the game eventually just reading tutorials, because I don't understand any of it. It's the same thing as that. I just, like, there's so much to it, and at first it all just sounds like nonsense. It seems really convoluted, all the different like affinities and equipments and armaments and what are you, ashes? I don't know. It's totally confusing. It's probably not confusing, but it's confusing to me. Fortunately, I didn't have to worry about that much here. I just got some swords and ran around beating guys. So that's something to look forward to, is digging through those tutorials. This isn't a criticism about the game, like, really at all. It's just kind of as an aside. Like, you know, like, Souls games have that whole thing where, like, people can leave messages, and there's blood stains, and you see their ghosts running around and doing stuff. I can't stand that. That seems to be, like, the default way to play, is, like, getting help, and it's like a big community thing, but I'm the opposite. I don't want any of that. I don't want people, like, telling me what's gonna, there's a treasure chest around the corner. Like, I don't want to constantly be reminded that all these other people are playing this game. So when I get the real thing, I'll, you know, turn off the online stuff, which I'm sure it'll let me do. But I was forced to see all that stuff during the network test. I mean, obviously, it's testing people connecting to the network and doing the multiplayer thing. So it makes sense. It's just funny, like, going up to a big fog door and, like, reading a note that's like, hey, there's probably a boss in here. Yeah, probably, huh? Let me upvote that one. They're probably right. Seeing just, like, these doofy ghosts just running around, and dying all the time. It's like it's a very busy game world. Everyone else seems to like all that, though, so more power to them, as long as I can turn it off. So I've, tested some games in my day, some network tests, some demos here and there, but I must say it has been a long time since I have played a game before launch and walked away feeling so ravenous. So ravenous to keep playing. Oh my gosh, the test ended and I'm like, no, please. Oh, just let me fight this last guy. No! He closes. Oh, it's terrible. No, I mean, like, it is painful. I'm glad I was able to play it, and now I can get all excited. I mean, like, this is one of my most excited games that I'm excited for. I mean, no, it's a lot. It's a ton. I am monumentally excited for this. I want to play it so much that I want to play more of the network tests, but I also, I can't wait to dig into the full thing, and it's almost, painful. It's painful to not be able to just go and explore every edge of the map, so I am debating if I am going to, because, holy cow, oh, why did I do this to myself? It's just about everything I loved about Dark Souls and what I've seen about Souls games and everything, except with a big open world and it's crafting and stuff. You can collect material. It's one of my favorite things in any game ever is collecting material. You know that about me. You probably know that. Collecting stuff to craft stuff because you're going around. There's always something to collect. Mushrooms and plants and stuff from animals that you beat. There's so much stuff to collect and I love it. So then you get that too. They added that to the Dark Souls. Now I get that satisfaction as well. It's messed up. Oh yeah, one final thing. I don't know why I said one so many times. One final thing that I will say is it's very interesting playing a Souls game that's so bright and colorful and not scary. I mean, the enemies are still scary, and I'm sure, especially in, some dungeons, I fought one boss, really scary looking, total nightmare fuel, but, up on the overworld, at least in this beginning area, it's, bright and beautiful, it's filled with flowers, and animals, just regular old animals. They're just there. It's very strange. It's you're just you're a boar? Are you supposed to be, are you an undead? No, it's just a regular boar, huh? It's weird. It's a breath of fresh air, though. It's definitely interesting. So I'm dying to play this game. This might change when Nintendo finally does the full reveal for Breath of the Wild 2. But I think in this moment right now, after playing that, I'm more excited for Elden Ring. Really. And that's saying something. That is saying something right there. But we will see. Were you able to get into the network test? I guess technically it's going for the next day or two or something, but let me know if you've been able to play Elden Ring, and if not, do you wanna? Does it look so good? Does it look so good? Because it is so good. I promise you, it is so good. So thank you for watching, and if you haven't already, you're gonna start seeing a lot of memes and stuff about touch grace. Because, people say touch grass, and instead of bonfires, it's grace, and it says touch grace when you, activate it. So you're gonna see a lot of that. I'm just, yeah, if you haven't already, it's gonna be a thing, so watch out for that. Have a good day. I love you. Goodbye. I'm gonna go take a nap. I'm gonna take some NyQuil, take a nap or something.